the Bottom Music Podcast is a production of Mike Rotondo and myself, Eric Burrell. Tonight's guest is Chris Tracy. He's a Chicagoland concert photographer. He's going to walk us through and give us some tips and tricks on how to grab a photo pass and get some kick-ass photos of your favorite band. Here we go.
That sucks.
So the first local show I ever went to, my mom was at Rice Pool in Wheaton at the Wheaton Community Center. She got handed a flyer for a Plain White T's Close Enough backdrop antifreeze show. So she gave it to me and she thought, oh, you should go to this and have some fun. And I was like, I don't know these bands. And I went on Napster and had to try to find some individual songs. And I remember the first Plain White T's song I downloaded was I-88. And I was like, this is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And then, I downloaded, I think, Take Me In for Backdrop and like Impossible Reality. And I was like, I have to go to this show. And then 2 months later, I was in a band with my friend. And it was amazing. I miss.
Yeah, I remember didn't you tell you wrote Pat or something? Somehow I heard that story before.
I got in touch with Pat and Jeremy pretty early.
Yeah.
We went to the same high school together. So
Maybe you personally told me that story or something, but I remember that's how you went to the first, found everyone basically.
Yeah. We all went to Wheaton Warrenville South, and I was a freshman when I think they were seniors. But I was like, oh, it's so cool. These people from my high school are in a band.
Yeah.
And then I started going to every show I could.
Nice.
What was your band?
Independent Society. Sounds very political. We had 0 political songs. Our songs were still just about girls.
Yeah, yeah.
We thought it sounded cool. We played maybe 14 shows. We had like 5 drummers. But it was still
all
great.
at the same time? That sounds insane.
It's like one life.
Yeah, dude. Drum circle.
But it was still, it was super fun.
Huh.
Nice. So, what do you do now?
I'm a concert photographer.
Ooh.
Professional.
Professional. Full-time job.
Yeah.
It doesn't pay as well as you'd think.
Well, let's
It
wind,
probably,
but we all
it
start
probably pays
somewhere.
better than I think, to be honest.
let's wind it back a little bit.
Yeah.
You're probably making way more fucking money than we are.
You'd be surprised.
Well, we'll dip into it.
Coming up next, we're going to talk financials.
So wind it back a little bit. Tell us how you started. What else have you done before you got into photography? We're just kind of going from job to job, trying to figure out something you liked, or.
So my first job was working at a independent video store that my best friend's dad owned.
Hell yeah.
We were actually customers beforehand, and then I found out his dad owned it, and I was 16.
Nice.
I was like, oh, I need a job, and
In
I applied.
Wheaton?
This was just on the border of Wheaton and Carroll Stream, right on President and Geneva.
Okay.
Video Villa. It had been open since like the 70s,
Yeah.
early 80s.
Sure.
So I worked there for 8 years for my first job. Halfway through, I started working also at Best Buy. So I was doing 2 full-time jobs rather than go to college. I was doing the Best Buy in Downers Grove.
Mm-hmm.
I remember every Second Counts came out, and Tom came with his family and bought like 6 copies. And I was like, dude, congratulations.
Yeah. I think
That was a great Best Buy to work at, because that's where LBC would shop,
Yeah.
and Tom and Joe Princip from Rise Against shop
Nice.
there, and I met Justin Timberlake there. It was because the corporate offices are right behind that Best Buy, so everything happened there.
Oh, really? I never knew that.
It was a really rad place to work.
was that like Butterfield and Finley?
Yep.
I think somebody.
Your guitar is probably still on
Your
the
guitar
wall.
is on the wall there with the Big Bad World album
shit.
cover. Yeah, right.
That's
near
also
customer service.
where Monahan was just spotted buying a PS, the first PlayStation.
Oh, yeah.
On
Forgot about
Instagram.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
So how did you get into photography?
So I took photography as a senior in high school. We were still doing film, and we had a dark room
Yep.
and all that fun stuff. And I really
Back in the old times.
back in the old days, and I really enjoyed it. And then my parents bought me a very early Kodak digital camera that was probably 0.3 megapixels.
Yeah.
And I remember bringing it to shows and taking pictures of the dog and everything in Plain White T's and using a flash from the camera.
Yep.
And just this bright white photo with maybe a face in it. And then I didn't do anything with it for a while because I was working, I was moving around. And then I started booking shows again because when I was in my band, I booked all the shows. I enjoyed that more than playing the shows because I
hated
have
booking
immense
shows.
stage fright.
I
So
never
was
booked a
like-
single show.
I was like, any business stuff, recording studios, I'm doing all that because
Yeah.
that's what I want to do.
Cool.
So I started booking shows here for smaller local bands just to see if I could still do it, if it was fun,
Yeah.
if it could be a career. And then I decided I'd buy a really cheap DSLR camera. I bought a really cheap Canon and an okay lens, a lens not suitable at all for concert photography.
Right.
And kind of just started going to local shows. And then my, I guess, big break, I went to the last 350 Fest. I don't know if you're familiar with that. They were in Tinley Park,
Okay.
put on by 350 Brewing Company, which was like the punk rock brewery of the southwest suburbs. And he would get people like, bands like Descendants played and Mighty Mighty Boss Tones and Me First and the Gimme Gimmes.
Popes were on that too, right?
Huh?
The Popes were on
Popes
that
were on
too,
that too.
Yeah.
And I think LBC played one year too.
Where the hell was I?
You're probably fucking playing somewhere
I was
in
probably on
America.
tour.
Yeah, you were already way famous. This was like
Shit.
2017, 2018.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So the last one that they did, and then the last night was all Chicago bands. So they had Naked Ray Gun and 88 Fingers Louie and the Bull Weevils. And I had some friends in bands that were playing, and I'm like, I'm going to bring my camera and just see how it goes.
Yeah.
And so Dan from 88 Fingers Louie, Dan Precision, saw me in the crowd and we're friends. And he's like, hey, do you want a wristband to get in the photo pit? And I was like, no, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And he comes back later. He's like, here's a wristband. So I got to go in there and do some photos. And I still like a couple of them, but that was kind of my first experience in a photo pit and getting pushed around by security and
Yeah.
working with other photographers. And I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So I just started upgrading my cameras, upgrading my lenses, and more and more and more. And now I've insured for like $30,000 worth of gear.
Jesus Christ.
Damn.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You're just like, I needed to insure my shit after hanging out with you.
It's come in handy. I've had to put in a couple insurance claims because camera stuff it gets thrown around all the time.
Yeah,
and
it
I'm
gets fucked up.
constantly, I'm hoping I can put it up on stage, but sometimes I just have to be carrying it on a backpack and it'll fall down. And I've already insurance. It works. It's a good thing to have.
Now that I think about it, we probably have insurance. And I'm thinking about shit that's broken on the road. And like
Never even claimed it or
no,
anything. Yeah.
there's been no claims. And
Yeah. I take 2 pictures and then a check arrives in my mailbox in a week.
I just, I just try to fix stuff, and then either I'd fix it or I make it worse. But yeah, I literally just picked up a little guitar amp from our storage space. I was telling you about it, and I'm like, the reverb tank was like broken, spring was came off on it, and the bass control on the clean channel does nothing. So 2 days ago, I'm like, I have the thing apart, and I ordered a new reverb tank, and I'm like,
I should have took 2 pictures and fucking
I
sent
know.
it in.
What am I doing?
But learning to repair that has benefits for
Yeah.
sure as well.
Yeah, that's a life's experience right there.
Yeah, right.
But
Rip it
but yeah.
apart.
So I don't know if you know this, but my old band that only played a dozen shows played with both of your old bands. And
Okay.
I don't know if you knew that.
I don't. So
I don't either.
um
Information Society? No, that was
Independent.
hang on. Information Society was
Sounds like a cult.
no. That's a band. It's like an '80s kind of electro band. Pure Energy. Pure Energy. That was like their big. I have it on vinyl. I'll play it for you later.
Get the rights for it, yeah.
Yeah.
okay, so fill me in. What show was
what
it?
show?
So for you, we played at Arabian Nights Bar in
Oh, hell
Willowbrook.
yeah.
Oh, we were just talking about that in the
Dude,
last
the
podcast.
best fucking venue.
And I'm gonna get the first band name wrong because I'm never sure if it's By Any Means or By All Means. If you guys remember them, maybe not.
I don't think I remember.
Never mind. Close enough in Jinx Pack.
yeah.
And
Them I remember.
I remember standing in the crowd and I look over and Tom was there because he was a huge Tone Deaf George fan.
Yeah, still is.
And I felt famous that Tom was
He
just
is.
at a show that I booked.
Nice.
And then I think it was near the end of Backdrop. We played a benefit show that Mark Allen put on. And
Oh, yeah.
it was at 602 North with Morningside Drive and a million other bands I don't know. Maybe Until Sundown and
I was
Roy
at
Biv.
I was 100% at that show.
That
Yeah.
was the one where they got sued at that venue, right? For having. It was right on North Avenue, correct?
Right on North Avenue.
Right, kind of before or after 355.
right
Right
on
there.
like Glen Ellen Road. I
Yeah,
think.
right.
Yeah.
And they ended up after that show, like down the road, they got sued and they for like a Zeppelin cover band or something, like one of those like weird cover bands, and they weren't ASCAP,
Oh yeah.
and they got sued and they shut the fucking place down.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's a gas station now.
No shit.
Just about every place I played is gone.
Yeah.
Well, I
Torn
apologize. I don't remember
Oh, that's okay. It was not a
drinking quite
good show.
heavily.
I think
those
Avert
days.
13 played. But yeah, it was a benefit show. A family in Villa Park, their house burned down, and it was to raise money for them. Fall Out Boy played a different one, I think in like New Lenox or something. But that
I
was it.
remember
It was
Mark put out that CD. It was a sampler,
the Rock Chicago.
right? I think there's only one
Comp.
of them, right?
Yeah, that was the first time I heard Fall Out Boy.
Right. And then
We were track 1, and I was like, this band is awesome. It was growing up, and still my favorite Fall
Did you
Out Boy
see them
song.
at the Wheaton Community Center with? We're just talking about that show, right?
It was One Life.
One Life and like Swizzle Tree,
Is that the one
No.
where they got banned from playing after that?
probably.
Yeah,
They still talk about that show in interviews.
Yeah.
yeah. We
I wasn't there.
well, so
We were there.
Patitude was booking the show.
Yeah.
And at that time, and so you know we were cool. Everybody was outside smoking and talking and stuff, and it was right before their big break going on the road. It was that tour. They were leaving the next day. Boom, and they blew up. And they started pulling people on stage, and fucking just
It was insane.
Yeah.
That'll definitely get you
It
banned from the
was-
Wheaton Community Center.
yeah, right. And Pat was going fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Fuck these guys. You know, blah, blah, you know. So I
I'm
tried.
gonna ruin their whole
Well,
career.
they, we played with so many bands back then, and they did shit on stage that nobody, outside of like the most hardcore fucking punk show you would go to, nobody did. But they took all that hardcore shit and brought it to kind of the pop punk thing, and it was like insane, just literally fucking insane.
I remember. So when I went on the road with you guys, and I was fucking guitar teching.
Yeah.
They were in the white van with the white trailer, and you guys were touring together. And you guys were actually bigger than them at the time. This was still kind of like when they were just blowing up. And every single fucking night, someone was bleeding.
Yeah.
From spinning around, you know what I mean? And beating, like just running into each other on stage, going fucking ape shit. Not one song you could understand. It all sounded like total horseshit because they were like more about like entertainment.
Joe Troman
You know?
was a monster. He was always doing the guitar
Right.
spins.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, it wasn't about playing good. It was about putting
It was
on
about
a show.
showmanship,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Yeah.
Patrick kind of would like stand there and hold it down
He
Right.
tried.
and sing the melodies, play the guitar parts when it was time for him to sing anyway. And then in between he'd be going nuts too. But
Yeah.
Well, I think that's kind of the reason why they skated into awesomeness is because he was holding it down, right, while they were fucking putting on the show.
Right.
You know? I remember sitting next to him one night. We all went to Denny's after a gig, and I'm sitting next to Patrick and trying to have a fucking conversation with him, and it was like, yeah, man. It was like in those days he was so shy.
So
he didn't
shy.
fucking talk to anybody.
Yeah.
It was like all to himself, you know.
Mhm.
And
remember
now he's super cool.
yeah, I remember I had like one good conversation with him, like in a van that somebody else was driving
Down by the river.
down by the no, and talking about music, and he was like talking about Squeeze
Huh.
and how he fucking loves Squeeze. I was like,
No shit.
never would have guessed that, you know.
Right.
This like kind of sort of obscure 80s poppy, like never would have guessed that. And like, just talking about that for a long time, I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah,
like-
he's eclectic in his
Yeah.
taste in music.
And I
So-
think we talked about like ska bands and stuff,
Right.
but anyway.
All right, back to Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like ska?
I do like Sky, yeah.
Nice. Me too.
Less than I'm all about less than Jake, or do you mean like real ska?
I mean, hey, whatever floats your
I guess I'm
checkerboard colored
more
boat.
ska punk, like Mustard Plug. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
I never got into Mustard Plug.
Me neither. I heard
Wow.
one song that they did where they, this is like musical geekage stuff, but they did like a 1-5-6-4 progression, and the sixth chord was major, and I was like, these guys don't know what the fuck they're doing. That's supposed to be minor, and no, you can do whatever you want. I know. Just at the time, I was like thinking I knew
You're
everything, and
critiquing.
yeah,
Fuck these guys.
like fuck
Yeah.
these guys, and then I just never gave them a proper chance.
You should.
I probably should.
They have a greatest hits album, which sounds a little funny to say. I recommend it.
All right. I do like the little brown plug that comes out of a mustard bottle when you first take it out of the fridge. It's the tastiest part of the whole deal. And I really thought I would like them back in the day because, all the other kind of condiment food-based ska bands, Skank and Pickle still is like one of my
Skank and Pickle.
all-time favorites.
Buck 09 reunited for one of the 350 fests.
Oh, man.
They were wild to see.
I had Barfly.
Is that
and
still
was
a show?
No,
No?
The owner sold the brewery, and the new owners literally ran into the ground in about 6 months.
Really?
So
That's
now he
unfortunate.
owns a taco place in Mokina.
Oh, okay.
Zap It Tacos, I think is the name. I haven't been there yet.
Well, when he puts together Zap It Fest, I'm fucking there. As
But
long as he can get Descendants to play again.
It was rad to go into a brewery and you hear, Bayside or MXPX, and he had shows in their brewery room and all that kind of stuff. It was really cool. I miss it.
Let's talk about your musical journey, kind of as a consumer.
Oh, okay. That's better than as a performer.
How? What were like the first bands, or not even bands, but first albums, artists, whatever?
So my parents were both into classic rock.
Okay.
My dad is more into classical music. He's a big classical fan, so I do like a lot of classical stuff.
Who's your guy?
So
Who's your composer?
I like Mozart.
Okay.
And he's a Vladimir Horowitz fan who plays other people's music, but insanely well. And he saw him twice, I think both times at like the Civic Opera House downtown. I've yet to go see a classical performance, but I probably should.
You should. It's a trip.
Yeah. I've seen like The Who with an orchestra behind them, and it's rad.
Something like I haven't been to many in my life outside of like, kind of high school orchestral stuff. And I don't know. Maybe I went to some kind of concert. But anyway, I remember learning like there's all these rules. You don't fucking clap or something, or maybe just because I was a ADD kid, and they're like, okay, you gotta sit there and shut the fuck up, let them play. But yeah, hearing like an orchestra in the room is just an amazing experience. So you should.
I should. And then my mom is really big into classic rock. So she took me to my first concert, technically was Bob Seger.
Okay.
I think I was 8 years old. I fell asleep. I regret that now.
Yeah.
And then she's taken me to see, we've seen The Who together, and Paul McCartney, and Three Dog Night, and the Monkees,
Wow.
Moody Blues, everything.
Awesome.
Damn, you got to see the Monkees.
Yeah.
My
dude.
brother,
Yeah.
my brother would be so
I
fucking
know.
mad at you.
And now they're all, literally almost all gone, except for Mickey.
Yeah.
Mickey's the only one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn, I would have gave my left something to see.
I think we went to the Rosemont Theater. I do think Pete Naismith was not playing with them at the time. I think they were still having a dispute with him. So we did see Davey, Mickey, and Pete.
Damn.
But it was awesome.
Unbelievable.
So she basically got me into music. Whenever she owned her own business, she's a tax accountant. But whenever I was in her office, 93.9, the light or the mix was playing. And so I was just around music itself my whole life. My dad plays piano, and so every night he would play his grand piano. I'd hear it in my bedroom.
Yeah.
Damn, awesome.
Yeah.
So then from there, when you start to kind of develop your own musical tastes?
Yeah, they didn't like my musical taste
Yeah.
as much.
What was that?
So
And how did you get there?
So I started high school in 2000, which was a great time to get into Blink-182
Yeah.
and pop punk, and Sum 41 and Newfound Glory were all coming out.
Was that all? By the time you got that concert flyer, were you already into that stuff?
Yes.
Or, okay.
Mainly.
Yeah.
My first love was Weird Al. I was shown Weird Al in 4th grade, became obsessed.
Yeah.
Met him in 1996 at Yorktown Mall at Sam Goody. Still one of the highlights of my life. Seen him in concert a bunch. So that was my first thing that I had that my parents had nothing to do with.
That kind of similar for me through my brother, actually. We used to tape the Dr. Demento show.
Mm-hmm.
And, Weird Al was like kind of...
He was the guy.
Yeah. But also a lot of weird shit.
A lot of weird shit.
Barnes and Barnes.
Dead puppies.
Yeah. Fish heads, right?
I don't
Familiar? Anyway.
I was very deprived.
Yeah. But my brother was like really big into that. And me, by proxy, being the younger brother, was into that. And Weird Al did Smells Like Nirvana. And that was one where I was like, I got to go find the original. And that was kind of how I discovered Nirvana.
There you go.
Which I guess was, they were already blowing up big enough for Weird Al to do their shit. But then I immediately, I think I asked for Nevermind on cassette for my birthday. Got that in my hands. And got Incesticide. And then made my parents drive me to Rolling Stones Records. You familiar with that place?
Mm-hmm.
That place is awesome.
Fucking amazing. And I bought,
Still around.
Yeah. And I got Bleach on cassette. And I think I picked up some weird free heavy metal sampler that had Testament or something on it. Anyway. So Weird Al.
Weird Al. And then I grew up in the era of TRL.
Mm-hmm.
So that got me into everything from Limp Bizkit
Yep.
and Creed. I saw Creed. Most people like them, even if they're lying about it.
Yeah.
And then that got me into...
I love that. Most people like them unless, even if
You
they're
don't
lying
sell 10 million albums
Yeah.
2 or 3 times.
I mean, who didn't like that fucking song until they...
Can you take
me higher? I don't know.
to a place where blind man... Anyway. I mean, yeah.
And then I was listening to... Then I
Got me all hot over here.
That got me into Q101, and
Yeah.
that was about the time that Dumb Pop Song by LBC was kind of gaining traction, and they were playing it all the time.
Yeah.
And the Top 9 at 9 basically formed my taste with, Bush and Korn and everything like that. So I kind of got it all over the place, and I still really enjoy all of that music.
What the fuck happened to our life? It was so good.
No, it still is, man.
Shit. No, but the days of the fucking radio,
Yeah.
Top 9 and 9, you know what I mean?
I was taping them on cassettes to listen to later. And
Right.
My friend and I, the guitarist James of our band, would try to be on the radio requesting a song, and whoever could get the highest number, you know.
Did James and the rest of the guys go on to continue to play music after you guys disbanded, or?
Yeah, James went to college in Texas, and he kind of did more of like a psychedelic jam rock band type thing. They never recorded anything. They played a few shows. Other than that, not really. He majored in poetry, so that's kind of his thing, and now he's like a associate professor in New York.
No shit.
The other guys, Brian Pizzullo was one of our drummers. He was in drumline at U of I.
His name sounds actually kind of familiar for some
He's
reason.
unbelievable. So I think that's about as far as he got, which is college. He never really joined any other bands. So no, we kind of all just ended our musical endeavors there.
You should get it back together.
So when we have our actual wedding, we got married during COVID, so we just had to go to the DMV in Denver, which is where you get married, not even City Hall. And we want to have an actual wedding here. And when we do that, I will absolutely fly them in to play a few songs.
You have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a must. for sure. So, you become a pro photographer, and like what, from there, like what? So, how do you get? I don't understand how like people get a gig, a pass or whatever it might be. Like, how's that?
Yeah,
work?
I mean, that's definitely something I've Googled many times before I started was how do you get photo passes? How do you get all access passes? How do you find a publication? Moving to Denver really was what helped me. Living in Chicago, there are so many photographers here. Everybody has a camera. Everybody knows somebody with a camera. So it's really hard to break in Chicago. When I moved to Denver, there were almost no photographers. Bands were dying to get pictures taken. So every local band I went to, hey, $50 and I'll come take your photos. Every single one said, please, yes, yes, yes. And then they would hire me for every show after that. After a while, then I kind of started wondering about larger shows. I do have a lot of friends in the music industry, which I will admit helped me immensely in terms of getting photo passes. And then I have a friend out there who runs Dying Scene, which was way bigger when I was in high school. But their name has a lot of clout in the punk community. So if I wanted a photo pass for NoFX or Pennywise, they would have absolutely no issue getting me one.
Yeah, I followed Dying Scene.
So I will admit I used a lot of connections when I first started that a lot of people don't have.
Sure.
I'm not afraid to kind of cop to that.
I mean,
But you got to use what you have.
Well, I mean, I think that's what life's about, right?
Yeah.
It's like, you make friends and you just kind of help each other.
Yeah. Like, I don't know this person, but I know someone that knows them, and I don't mind asking, like, hey, can you ask this person for this?
Did you go to school with Carl Ryan?
No, I met him, I guess technically met him through, like, the Close Enough gang.
Are you cool with him now and all?
I think we're friends on Facebook.
Yeah. Fucking guy's on fire, man.
I don't think we've actually met in person, though.
Yeah, he's unbelievable, the shit he's doing. But so what's it like what's the level of frustration or excitement, or is it hard to be a photographer and a fan at the same time when you're shooting somebody that you really love?
Yeah, so the first real big show I shot in Denver was Punk and Drublick.
Shit.
So it was, it was NoFX and Less Than Jake. It was a smaller date, so those were the only two bands I loved. Sick of It All also played.
Did you get spit on a lot?
No, it was totally fine. It was outdoors, and I knew someone who knows Jen from the Bomb Pops, and she knows everybody.
Yeah, my brother's working really close with her right now.
So I asked my friend, I was like, hey, can you ask Jen, because she works at FAT, and I was like, could you ask her if we can get a photo pass? And he's like, yeah, here you go. And my name was at Will Call, and even just going to the box office, I was like, something's going to go wrong. I'm not going to have something I need. They're going to take my cameras away. And so I got my photo pass. My heart was racing a mile a minute. Put it around your neck. Security doesn't even look at your bag. They're like, just go through. I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm just walking around feeling high and mighty. And then the first few bands I shot, it was nice, but I didn't really know them. Bands like Get Dead, kind of smaller punk stuff. But when Less Than Jake went on and I'm in the photo pit, it's just like an out-of-body experience. And I'm the only one there singing while I'm taking my photos.
Which is probably why
I still am.
That's why, see, I bet you that's why your photos, because I mean, I've been really admiring your photos. They're really fucking great.
Thank you.
And that is why they're so fucking good. That's the secret, because you're fucking singing and you're in the moment and whatever, compared to somebody that's just trying to be like a photographer.
Like the longtime pros, it's such a business for them. I think they just need to kind of enjoy the show and go to shows and not shoot it. Now when I go to a concert and I don't shoot it, I really get to fucking enjoy it.
Right.
Because it doesn't feel like I'm working. But even now, I'm singing every band I see.
Yeah,
I don't care.
It's definitely, I can see
and they don't
why.
they don't hate it for sure. They seem to enjoy it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely, now I can see why your photos are so amazing, is because your heart's fucking in it, because you love the bands. Even if there's bands you hate, you're probably still finding something about it you love. You know what I mean? Interesting. Very interesting. Has anyone ever been like a total jerk to you?
No. I've been turned down a few times. Totally understandable. Elvis Costello's team turned me down. I don't blame them at all. The Who's team turned me down because I wasn't really working for like a real media outlet at the time.
Sure.
I can't see. Maybe I shouldn't even say this because people are going to start hitting me up or something. But like, I can't ever see a reason to turn anybody down for that. Like, unless you kind of like run out of spots or whatever.
Yeah,
I guess that can happen.
it can happen.
But
Yeah,
like,
because I mean, like, if there's 20 people in front of the stage,
yeah,
snapping shots.
Yeah, so last year at Four Chord Fest in Pittsburgh, which my friend runs, they admitted they gave out too many photo passes because I had a friend there who was just using kind of her little digital camera, and all these professionals are kind of like, we need to get in your way.
yeah,
And so they, halfway through the second day, they actually emailed all of us. They're like, hey, for the rest of the day, only people who are working for Four Chord can be in the photo pit. So I had to go back to my hotel room, get a longer lens, and then shoot from the crowd the whole time. So
damn.
it can be frustrating.
Yeah, so that's really interesting. So
I mean, I know for a fact because you can always kind of tell when you're playing a show and there is somebody in the photo pit who maybe takes 3 pictures, the whole night, and they're just like they just wanted to be in front.
I'll see people on their phone recording the show, and it's like, come on.
It's not why you get
Common
yeah,
sense.
right? But for me, honestly, I could give 2 shits. I'm like, you know what? Good for you. You got there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Tell that to your PR team.
Yeah. Well,
what's the camaraderie between?
It's usually totally fine. I've met some really good friends, especially in Denver, through photography. We try to help each other out whenever we can. I don't feel any competition.
Yeah, that's what I wonder, if it's like meeting other bands. Is it like you're in competition with each other, pushing each other out of the way when you're in the moment?
In Chicago, it's a lot less talking between photographers. The ones that do talk already kind of know each other, but there are a lot of people that I just see once and then I don't see them at any other shows. Versus in Colorado, I kind of learned of all the photographers that were there, and I would see them every show I went to, and I would know their names, and we'd hang out outside of shows. Here, it's much more strictly business. People get in, they do their shots, they get out, which is fine because that allows me to focus more. I will talk to people, but I know I'm also there to do a job,
Right.
even though I enjoy the hell out of it.
My brother was just talking about that with as far as like getting art shows, the difference between like Chicago and like trying to get an art show in LA. He was saying it's actually easier to be and get into shows in LA than it is in Chicago, because for some reason it's like this fucking grind thing. Like you got to like prove your shits. And there's so many artists here along that there is there also as well. But for whatever reason, he's like, I could submit three paintings and I'll get one at least in the show. He's like, in Chicago, he's like, I've submitted so much shit and and I'm fucking from there and I never got into half the shit I ever, put in there. So I think there's something about Chicago where it goes with the mentality of, tough city.
It's very cutthroat,
Right.
Chicago, yeah.
I think it's cliquey also. Everybody kind of has their own little clique,
Right.
and somebody else shows up and they're like, who the fuck are you?
Well, I think it kind of goes with like the whole music scene thing too, right? It's all kind of like you got this scene over here, you got this scene over there, whatever. Very cliquey, very,
Yeah, here's the northwest suburb bands,
Right.
and then here's the west suburb bands, and here's the southern bands.
Right.
Yeah.
It was like that.
Really, really interesting.
Plus, we're just all fucking jerks. We got the worst attitudes.
Chicago.
Yeah, we're from Chicago.
Have a fucking hot dog.
Yeah, it might be a nice fucking day today. Just wait a week.
Wait, you got ketchup on your fucking dog?
Yeah, fuck you.
Hey, fuck you, asshole.
What are you, a goddamn child?
Damn.
We're fucking jerks.
Do you have what about technology with cameras? Is it hard because they're always coming up with something new and you're like, fuck, I want that, but I can't fucking swing 10 grand right now?
Yeah, so the biggest advancement they've made is going from DSLR cameras to mirrorless cameras. And when I went from my Canon DSLR to my Sony mirrorless, it completely changed the way I do photography. And now my newest camera has AI autofocus in it. So it learns what you're shooting and kind of learns to adapt the autofocus to what you normally shoot.
Damn.
Which is insane. And I'll admit, a lot of times it's really fucking easy now. Like, you kind of just point your camera and you hope you get a good pose, but it's so easy to get stuff in focus. There's no you don't have to manually focus anything anymore. I shouldn't be saying that, but it's really easy.
Yeah. But it's not.
No, I mean,
I do really feel like I take 1,000 pictures to hopefully get 20 good ones, and so
right.
It doesn't have to be perfect.
Well, the performer's got to be kick-ass. You got to get that right moment, and you got to have an artistic eye, because not anyone can hold a fucking camera and get maybe lucky, but you kind of know, and you're also in the moment with the music, especially a lot of them, right?
Yeah, having seen most of these bands at least multiple times, I know when they're going to jump, and I know when they're going to stop and get in the crowd and stuff like that. So I know when to be ready.
Knowing Josh Cater is going to go, whoa.
Hey, man, kind of a tangential thought, but man, remember when Instagram was only photos and like that was what it was all about? How fucking cool was that?
Yeah.
God damn.
That was cool.
tangential.
I missed that.
Mean?
Like off, So you got like, here's the line of our conversation, and then here's a tangential line that goes,
but still related.
Sort of related.
In a way.
Yeah. Splits off from the main conversation.
Yeah, Instagram was great.
Fuck. But
They're starting to go back.
Thinking,
they're starting to go back to photography more.
Yeah.
Than they went to the TikTok thing. They admitted it didn't work.
Yeah.
And now I think they're trying to backtrack, which is fine with me.
Yeah.
We were just talking how Tom loves girly photography on the way here.
Yeah.
Who
doesn't though?
Yeah.
But no, I was just kind of thinking back to like the arc of technology, how initially it was kind of, and I'm not a photographer, but I pay attention to the tech world. But initially it was like, oh wow, a digital camera, and it was like 4 pixels, you know. But just the fact that it functioned was cool.
Yeah.
And then the goal was, okay, when is it going to be comparable to film? When can it do what film does and kind of get to that level? That was, maybe a decade ago, 15 years ago. I don't know. And then, like, the idea that it would do something, it would evolve from there was insane. Because where would it go? But yeah, now there's like AI autofocus.
But film is back in a big way too, because now a lot of younger people are realizing what film looks like when it's developed.
Fucking
how
magic.
You can
but you
spend
could
a million years editing it. You'll
put a
never have it look
filter
like
on.
film does.
Just put a filter on.
Yeah. So film cameras are huge now again. But film is very expensive.
That's true.
And Walgreens will still develop it, but it's like $20 to develop one roll of film now.
And they just put it in a machine. They don't,
Well, that's
No.
why I try to record a tape for us, It's fucking, I don't even know what it would cost right now to do a record on tape.
Yeah.
But
here's a secret. VCRs. They record audio too.
Right?
Right. And it's tape.
Yeah, I mean, you're right.
We're going to do something with that. I got a stack of VCRs at home, and we're going to do something.
So,
but anyway.
Do you really?
I do.
I need one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
For what?
Old family movies. I want to digitize them, but I don't want to pay someone $1,000 to do it.
I'll do it for $985.
Perfect.
I
Sold.
have a CD burner too.
I got a stack of those. I got a lot of shit in my house, but I do have a really nice. Man, I was looking for years, through dumpsters. No, but at
Goodwill,
Salvation Army, and I picked up a few along the way. But I was always looking for the Super VHS player, the mythical unicorn of VCRs that would play Super VHS tapes. I don't know if you know anything about that.
I do.
Got this Panasonic Super just sitting there.
Panasonic always made the best consumer VHS players.
Yeah.
We always had Panasonics growing up.
I mean, the dream would be to get broadcast.
The professional stuff, yeah.
But to see a Panasonic Super VHS player in Goodwill that works and was like $5.
Do you know about DVHS?
I do.
Do you have one of those?
No.
Those are costly.
Nobody has one of those.
I don't know if it's worth investing in, but
Well, it's not. Like it's a cool thing, and it
it's
would have
fun
been
to watch
awesome.
YouTube videos on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been awesome if it worked.
Yeah.
It didn't, for reasons, but like it's cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
The idea is awesome, but then DVDs. Why would you even?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You guys lost me.
So in kind of before DVDs or kind of concurrent with DVDs, they came out with this sort of digital VHS thing that could record in high definition and was awesome. But nobody had high def coming into their homes to record anything. And it was expensive, and it just kind of flopped, and that's the end of it.
Huh.
They released some movies for it, but I guess you'd be using component cables or composite.
Yeah.
Component cables?
Composite.
The blue
Component, yeah.
blue,
component.
red, green.
Yeah. No. Yes.
Component.
Component.
Yeah.
Right.
Because that was before HDMI was even around.
You guys are really nerding out on this stuff. What? So if somebody's listening right now and they're a photographer and they're frustrated,
Quit.
don't
Always.
quit. Never quit.
No, quit for sure.
But
Same with music. Don't
start a band. Chicks dig it. Don't start a band. But yeah, I mean, like, so let's say I'm a photographer, and I love taking pictures and stuff, and I want to do what you do, and I don't have any friends in the industry. What would you say would be their best course?
Find local bands. Any local band in your area always want photos taken, especially now in the age of social media. You always have to have content, whether it's photos or short video clips or TikTok shit or just Facebook posts. Everybody needs something, and do it for free for a while. I didn't make $1 on it for my first maybe 20 or 30 shows. I just would ask a band. I'd be happy if they even said yes for free, and I would show up and pay the door myself and go shoot for free. Don't be afraid. It's kind of like music. Don't get into it expecting to make money and to have it be a career, because then you're probably not going to succeed at it.
I got some advice, and this is for you as well.
I'm ready.
Be so fucking annoying. And don't be afraid of that.
Mm-hmm.
Just pester people. You want to shoot some band, and this is for musicians too. Oh, you want to play this venue? Like, be the guy that's like, hey, just DMing whoever. Hey, real quick, this is me. This is what I do. I want to do this. Like, if anything comes up, give me a shot. A week later, hey, just want to, remind you that I exist. Keep bugging people.
Yeah.
Hey, any update is probably my most typed thing in Instagram or Facebook.
But just be, doing that. You're either going to piss somebody off, and they're going to say, okay, no, we're not going to work with you ever, which is the same as if you never reached out to them in the first place, or more likely, if you're friendly and nice and don't be a dick. Couple, weeks down the line, months down the line, whatever, they're thinking like, oh man, we need a photographer. Oh wait, there's that one guy that's been, messaging
Well,
me.
the other thing is, if I was on that and you have been, booking shows and stuff or whatever, I would be like, this guy's really up my ass about trying to shoot a show. If he's that hungry and calling me, he's probably really fucking into this, and he's probably pretty great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the way I would look at it. It's not so much pissing people off. It would be more or less like,
don't piss people off, but don't be afraid to.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree.
Don't because the opposite of that is me, which is like, oh, I don't want to bother, because I don't take my own advice. I can dish it out all day, but if I didn't join the T's, I wouldn't have done shit, because I'd be like, oh well, I don't want to bug them about, I'd like to play a show at that venue, but I don't want to. Maybe they're busy and I don't want to reach out to them. And
yeah, I remember sitting down with the Yellow Pages, just going to banquet halls and just calling every number like, hey, will you host a concert? And all of them would say no, but you all you need is one yes.
Right.
And it starts from there.
Yeah, but for photography, if you're trying to get a photo pass for Taking Back Sunday, their PR people get thousands of emails a day. They're going to miss one. So it doesn't hurt to just follow up even if you don't hear back.
Yeah. Or bypass the PR people,
A lot of my stuff is through bands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, DMing them through their Instagram or something like that.
Because
Yeah.
chances are,
I got to get on Twitter. Apparently, Twitter, it's really easy to get replies.
yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
from people that are on
Because they
Twitter.
don't go to like Instagram will just go to a hidden folder, a hidden message folder.
Oh yeah,
Twitter,
true.
you can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
right there
shit.
for
There
you.
you go. But yeah, if you're going to lead singer, bass player, drummer, whatever, they're just going to forward it on to their PR people or their tour manager or whoever. But the tour manager with the 1,200 emails, the one that comes from the bass player, they're going to be like, oh, yeah, I better look at this one.
Yep.
Oh, he wants photo pass? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Or
Or
I've always been that guy too, where hey, if someone's DMing me, I'm gonna look at that message or whatever, and why not give them a chance? Someone gave me a chance, I'll give it. You know what I mean? You want a photo pass? Fuck, I get you a photo pass. You know what I mean?
or if they're on a tour, email the openers because they're always happy to get.
Yeah.
If they're opening for Blink-182, they're happy just someone is bothering them
Right.
rather than trying
Yeah.
to get the photo pass from the headliner.
Right. They might not, if they're opening for Blink, they might not have even the say to be like, hey, we need a photo pass.
That's true. Turnstile might get one photo pass a show.
Yeah.
But like even the Rise Against one with Smoking Popes, I got it through the Smoking Popes. I'm not trying through Rise Against. I might have been able to get through, but it wasn't worth, like I knew I could get it through the opener, and it was much easier than trying to going through Mike Falumley versus a PR team
Yeah.
Yeah.
that have to ask what publication are you for and all that kind of stuff. Because right now I don't work for a publication, so all the stuff I'm doing is all freelance.
Do you go
Slash
under a
just for
business
fun.
name or do you
Just
go
Chris
under-
Tracy Photography.
Yeah.
I used to do SFAS, Song from a Scene Photography. I stole the name
Yeah.
because it always resonated with me. But then most photographers, they use their name and it seems to work much better.
Yeah. Go by your name.
Then
for
you
sure.
automatically know who I am and my name, and I don't really.
Yeah. If you had like a company name, I would assume that you have a team or something.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to get you. I'm going to get somebody
Right.
from the team of photographers.
So I changed that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean it just sounds it's more memorable than an actual
Yeah,
business
it's more
name.
personalized. It feels like I already know people, and it feels like they already know me. Versus like, oh, what's your name again?
Yeah.
They already know my name.
So who and where are your favorite things that you've shot? Favorite bands, favorite venues?
So shooting the Metro was number one for me. My first show shooting there was Jimmy Eat World at the Riot Fest after show last year. And I got in through that because their PR firm started following me, and they're in a small PR firm, only a couple hundred followers on Instagram. And I'm like, I got to chat them up.
Yeah.
And so just pleasant conversation. And now any show that they play, not a problem. It's taken care of, which is cool.
Well, because you take kick-ass photos.
That doesn't hurt. So shooting Metro was just because most of the best shows I've ever been to in my life all happened there.
Yeah.
Shooting that place was awesome. And then band wise, that's a good question. It might be Rise Against. At least until there are some bands on my list, Blink-182 included, that I think would top the list for that. Green Day would be on that list, and Fall Out Boy would be on that list. Bands I kind of more grew up listening to.
Mm-hmm.
Backdrop play with fucking Rise Against at the Cubby Bear. Back like way the fuck back in the day.
That's a combo of a set.
With a George Clinton, members of the George Clinton P-Funk band. They had like a side project. And someone fucked up on this bill, and it was Backdrop, fucking Rise Against, and like George Clinton's fucking P-Funk band.
The P-Funk All-Stars.
Holy shit, was it a show, man.
That sounds like a Swizzle Steve production.
Yeah, it probably was, to be honest with you.
I talked to fans and they're like, oh, he put us on with like some jam rock band and we're not making any fans.
Oh, Steve, you gotta love him. Swizzle.
Although I should say, I got to photograph Descendants and Bad Religion, and I mean, I love Rise Against, but in terms of being a punk kid, it doesn't get much bigger than those two.
Yeah.
And I shot them literally back to back at the same show, and that was that was killer.
Nice.
Did you, when you first started getting into photography, did you just kind of like say, well, I mean, I know you kind of told the story, but were you ever like reaching out to somebody and trying to like figure out anyone like, hey, you know, how do you fucking do this?
So I'm in a couple Facebook groups, and there are people who just like today. Someone just posted, "How do I get in touch with Evanescence?" And it's that kind of thing of if you have to ask that question, you're not going to shoot that show. Like
Right.
you're not ready for that yet. But there were definitely times where I felt lost, and there have been times where I told my wife, "I'm selling all my stuff. This is not worth it or whatever." But then as soon as I shoot another show, it's magic all over again. But you get rejected, and it sucks, but you live with it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it just wasn't the right show for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know?
I got plenty of years to shoot The Who. They're only 78.
Yeah. Right, yeah, there's way more time there. For sure, I would agree with that. Yeah, I would love to be fuck around with cameras, but I don't know what it is. I've just got my hands in too many things, but I've always loved, you know, I did learn how to develop film back in school. I don't know if you ever did. I think it kind of was like a school thing where...
Mm-hmm.
I never did. My dad had a dark room in our house.
Really?
And it always creeped me out.
You never forget what that smells like.
Yeah.
It's like taking apart the pig in biology class, except it's more and all the time, and it never goes away.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's a great photographer, actually. And the Tone Deaf George CD, the one CD that we made, he took all the photos, and I just kind of ganked him.
No shit.
So there's like a little girl on the back cover. That's my cousin.
Yeah.
And the front cover, like the
Homeless
guy
person.
on the street playing a melodica
Yeah.
in front of the bargain store or whatever. Like he just snapped that, you know,
No
in
shit.
some little small town and shit.
Just
I'm like,
learn
dude, this is
something
a
new.
fucking great photo. I'm taking this. He's like, okay. Oh, and then inside was like all the doll shit. Was that inside or no, that was inside. It was like doll heads and arms and shit.
I don't-
Like this
I
is fucking incredible.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I just
But-
remember the front and the back.
But I never said, hey, Dad, teach me how to develop film.
Yeah, you
I was like,
should've.
hey, Dad, I'm going to take your bass out on tour and it's going to get stolen.
Yeah, no shit.
Um,
Forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll be a photographer for life? Is that the goal?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's going pretty well. I mean, a lot of big shows, I don't make any money. I do it for free.
Yeah.
I do it because I want to do it, and I don't mind doing it for free.
Right.
Because if I'm up on stage with Rise Against at the Metro, I can't put a price on that. So I kind of make my money doing local shows, and then I do like family photography and stuff on the side.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you
that
do
actually
anything
pays
beside,
money.
Yeah, besides shows, do
Yeah.
you do any kind of portraits?
Yeah,
and
stuff,
like
that actually people will hire you for.
we're going to hit you up for some Christmas photos and stuff.
Yeah.
I think we will. We got this girl, this lady. She's okay, but why go to her when we can go to you?
There you go.
So anyway, yeah.
Let's do it.
Shoot the Rotondo.
I don't care for that stuff, but Jen is always like, "Oh, we need."
Oh,
you know.
bullshit! You're the one saying, you know what? It's almost Christmas time. We gotta get that fucking picture.
We put on the sweaters and
Yeah, and you love it. You go and you shop all day for a sweater. I can see you. You're full of it.
No, I say if people want to see us during the holidays, they can come visit anytime. We don't have to send them a fucking picture. You know, we're here. Like it's, you know, I don't know. It means more to see people in person, but we do it. We
Right.
send out the little card with the photos on it, and
Typical suburban thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
Cute.
yeah.
What is your typical your night like? Do you sit down after a show and do you like that part of it?
If it's a band that I'm really excited to shoot, I will edit some as soon as I get home. Usually I'm too tired. I watch a lot of movies. I've got 3,000 Blu-ray discs in that apartment back there.
Jeez.
Yeah, so that's what we do.
Favorite
And a
movie?
You
lot of
hear
video
that,
games.
Darren Varel?
Yeah.
You got Darren beat.
Oh, I'm such a typical guy. It's Shawshank Redemption.
Oh yeah, of course.
Well, and I'm assuming your love of movies that was amplified from working at the video store, right?
It sure was,
Yeah.
and Best Buy. Yeah,
Right.
I would be able to. I would get my check at Best Buy, paycheck. I would go to the bank. I would cash it, and I would already have a stack of movies at Best Buy that I picked throughout my shift sitting there on hold waiting for me. All the new releases. The video store, I'd grab a whole stack of stuff we're gonna sell for $1, bring it home.
Do you have Netflix?
We
Access to Netflix?
We have access to Netflix
did you watch,
for the time being.
Did you watch Dolomite Is My Name?
No, not yet.
Dude,
the Eddie Murphy movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Okay. It was great. That actually made me go back and watch all of
the Rudy Ray
all
Moore
of the Rudy
stuff.
movies.
All right, I watched the
I've been
damn
trying
movie.
to get Eric to watch
It's really good. And you have to have no prior knowledge of him. I knew nothing about him whatsoever.
Yeah.
Good.
And it was still great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's all up my ass about this
You
movie.
know, Darren fucking watched it.
I know. Well, you fucking called him in the middle of
called
the night
him.
and told him to watch
early
it.
morning.
I mean, he's something.
Driving to the airport.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, anyway. It's such a great fucking movie.
It's
and
great.
a great
It's
story
really
about,
great.
like, you know, us coming from, like, the kind of DIY punk rock
Yeah.
ethos. Like, this guy who faced every hurdle along the way was just like, I want to do this.
Just made the movies he wanted to
and
make.
just fucking did it
himself.
Like, dude, it's such a great story. Anyway.
Well, I think there's some. It's so interesting to do this podcast because you're learning about everyone's struggle to get to where they're going, you know. And we haven't met one person yet that hasn't struggled to get to, you know, it's patience, it's a long haul, it's a lot of fucking work. And I have a landscaping business also that I'm trying to run. And I'm telling you, I've never worked so hard in my effing life. It's like every day there's major setbacks, major problems. There's never like, okay, cool, we're sailing today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just like you said, I've come home and I'm like, I'm gonna sell all my shit. You know, I've said that numerous times. Like, you know what? Maybe I'm not meant to be a business owner, even though it's in my blood and everyone does it, whatever. But I just feel like that's exactly how you make it or break it. If you love it enough and you want to do something or whatever and your heart's in it, you will do it for sure. It may take you fucking 15 years and way more than 10,000 hours, but it's going to happen, you know? Same thing with, you know, photography or music or whatever. It's just like, but the people that are like, I'm going to sell this shit. Well, you're never going to see it. You know what I mean? As much as you want or whatever, it's literally that, cut and dry. If you want to make it, you literally never put it down.
Yep.
You know?
I agree.
But your heart has to be in it, obviously.
It has to be in it.
You know, otherwise.
Which is why when I look down in the photo pit and I see that kid with like the really shitty digital point and shoot, like, if they're actually taking photos and not just, you know, I'm like, they're doing it.
Those are
they
also going to
wanna
be
do
your biggest fans that are doing it too, if they're willing to try to go those lengths with a nothing camera.
Yeah. But even if they hate us and they just want to take photos and they're like, well, you know, whatever. And they're in there like just working with the tools that they have, you know, hell yeah.
The best camera is the one that you have on you.
Right.
Is the saying.
Which
nowadays is phones.
I'm gonna come with Chris to the next tea show.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna like fucking bring like a rubber camera, like a fake rubber camera, and I'm literally gonna like run around in front of you and just fucking take pictures. But there's no fucking. It's not his rubber.
No, see that you're missing the point. I'm talking about the person that can't afford a nice mirrorless camera or even
no shit,
or even a 5-year-old DSLR.
There's
but they have
people.
They want to do it.
Yeah, they found a Nikon Coolpix at Goodwill.
Yeah,
and they're like, I really want to do this, and they're doing it. Like, hell yeah, you know.
I agree, but also please stay out of my way.
Right.
I disagree.
If there's two people
Get
in the
your
photo
fucking
pit,
shot,
get all
kid.
the photos you want. But if it's full in there, please let me take some pictures.
Well,
if they're in there with a Game Boy camera, get the fucking shot. Do what it takes. You know. There's value there, you know.
And being 6'4", that doesn't help either. I feel like such an asshole when I'm in a photo pit because I've had people tap me on the shoulder, just 15-year-old girls like, can you please move? And I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm so tall, I just feel horrible that I'm just in everybody's way.
Blocking everybody's shit.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Get some stilts. Get those drywall stilts, you know. Be like, you know what?
But then as soon as the music starts, I stop giving a fuck. And I'm like, I have to just do my job. It's 3 songs, and then I'm out of here, and they can watch the show. They'll be fine.
Yeah.
Have you ever been kicked or any damage done to yourself?
Not really. Before I did photos, I used to take a little point-and-shoot camera and do video. I would record shows and put them up on YouTube way back when YouTube was new. And one time I was at the Starting Lines final, using air quotes, show, which was at Metro, and I was in the front taking a video, and some dude just completely kicked me in the back of the head, and I almost blacked out, but it was right at the end of the show, and I got really lucky. But other than that, security's great.
Yeah.
They never get thanked for what they do, but they're on top of it all the time. So I've never even had a close call, really. I think I've had a water bottle or a cup of beer thrown at me, but that's normal.
Right.
I've had that happen countless times.
Do you like to travel for shows, or would you rather stay local, prefer to stay
I love traveling for shows. I'm doing Forecourt again this year in Pittsburgh. I'm doing When We Were Young in Vegas. I might do the Fest in Eau Claire.
When we were
Guy
young?
hooked me up, yeah.
He sent me a message. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna be there anyway. I don't need tickets."
That
was the magic word.
How
How
are you getting there?
We're flying. We already have tickets in a hotel. Yeah.
Bitch.
Well, we didn't get tickets initially, so we're doing the hotel and ticket package, which is really jacked up for price. So it's like,
yeah, no. So I'm trying to go so we could do the podcast from there.
Yeah.
And Darren's gonna meet me, and so we were trying to find a way where we could get back by the buses with this thing or something, which is probably not going to happen. But just anywhere close by where we could just say, hey, maybe try to reel some people in. So, but that's kick ass. So you're going to be there.
I am. I'm very fucking nervous.
I was going to tell you to hop in here and fucking come with, but you got a flight.
What are you nervous about?
Well, some bands, namely Blink-182, which is my number one, that's my unicorn.
Yeah.
They're very stingy with who they have to personally approve every photographer that shoots them. So people that I know that know their team think that I'll be okay.
Yeah.
And I should at least even apply for their shows here in a week and a half. But I'm very critical of my work. So I'm still just like, oh, they're going to fucking hate me. And they're not gonna say anything. But at a place like When We Were Young, maybe it's too big. The security's got enough to worry about other than not letting me in the photo pit. They're probably not going to care.
Right.
So I might just try to go in anyways and just
let other
act
people,
like I need to be there.
Let other people be critical of your work.
I know. It's just always something I've dealt with, whether it was playing music or even just playing video games. And
yeah.
Where it comes a point where you got to own what you're doing,
I can step back and look at my Instagram, and it's very enjoyable to look at. And I can go, that's a really good shot. But overall, I'm still just like it's that thing of just finding other photographers and going, man, their stuff is so good.
See, that's your problem. You got to find the bad ones and be like, dude, this sucks. I'm way fucking better than this.
There's plenty of those too.
That's all you got to do, And
I'm in the photo booth with a lot of them.
That might be the secret to life right there. Is just look down on people that you think you're superior to, and then then you'll have ambition.
What's working for me, the secret for me for pretty much everything I'm doing is literally not honing into anything but myself.
Yeah.
And I never really, everyone's always like, you're trying to list out other band. Like, I wish I wrote a song like Josh Cater, or I wish I did this or that. Well, then I'd sound like Josh, or, So
instead, listen to Mustard Plug and be like, that fucking major 6 chord. Come on, guys. Like, I could do better than that. And then there you go. But no offense to Mustard Plug. Again, I was young, I'm sure. If I go back.
Greatest hits.
Yeah, I'm going to check it out.
Yeah.
For sure.
There are a lot of trends in concert photography, and I definitely purposely try to avoid doing those.
Yeah.
I try to do my own thing, and I think that's working out for me.
I don't think from what I've seen, I don't even think I think you're just in the fucking moment. I mean, that's really how your photos come across to me, is like almost like I'm there, watching the show, and I could feel
that's the idea.
Fucking energy and everything. Like, yeah.
That's what I want to convey.
Well, I mean, like, I'll tell you right now, you're good enough for Blink-182. So
Thank you.
You'll get in there, dude.
I just need them to think that.
Well, you don't need shit, man. You just fucking go.
You need...
Your first fucking mistake is you're going flying to the show and not coming in here with me. I'm gonna be all by my fucking lonesome going down the street like this.
Hey, maybe I'll forego my flight and I'll drive out.
No, because then we'll break down or some shit. And you'll miss the show.
No, then I'll have to Uber it, 300 miles to the Kansas City airport, and I'll figure that out. Whatever.
Shit. Well, we're gonna have to fucking party. Not party with some. What are those waters you got there?
Liquid Death.
Yeah, we'll have to have some Liquid Death
representing.
You know what I could probably do is I could probably say like, "Hey guys," to the band. give me my money for the flight, and I'm going to use it for gas for the RV, and they'll probably do it.
Oh yeah, there
Costs
you
the
go.
same either way.
Yeah, if we play in Texas, Tim does that. He's like, or even, a drive from Texas. He's
Yeah.
like, give me the money. I'm going to rent a car, and pay for the gas
Instead,
and save money because it'll be cheaper for him to do that. But
right?
I'll be like, look, whatever
Good
the flight
idea.
costs, I'm going to get there.
I like how you think.
God willing.
Kick ass. Is there anywhere we could find the old music? Was it ever recorded?
We properly recorded one song at Crystal Recorders in Lombard, which somehow is still around in the same house that they converted into a recording studio. I can't believe it.
No shit.
It was all acoustic because we didn't have any other band members. It's 5.5 minutes long. I don't recommend anybody listen to it.
No, we
Is it out there? Like on,
It's not
Spotify?
out there.
Dude,
It's
get it on
in
Spotify.
my own personal collection.
It's really easy to get it up on Spotify.
It is, and then we have a lot of stuff we recorded on his 4-track. He bought a digital 4-track recorder, and we recorded a shit ton of stuff
Yeah,
on
see,
that.
you are younger than us. Digital 4-track. I remember when those came out. I was like,
Yeah.
and I got one, but it was like later on.
Yeah,
Other than that, we were recording stuff. He had just a boombox with a built-in microphone, and so we were just doing everything
Yeah.
live
We did all the
into
same
one
shit.
little tiny microphone. And then his dad bought him the 4-track, and it changed
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
I'm currently going through over about 200 tapes in a firebox that I have of like all kinds of shit. And let me tell you, I'm like through 20 tapes. It's mind blowing how bad some of this shit is.
But also how great. I'm sure.
I'm finding tons of gems too. But it's just like you got to go back and remix that or whatever, fuck with it, and you know what I mean.
Oh, even if you don't do the Spotify thing, digitize it.
It is digitized.
Okay. Send it to go on Bandcamp, DuPage County Hardcore.
DuPage County Hardcore?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Send it
download
to-
all their stuff.
Yeah. Send it to him. Have him put it up.
I've told him, I'm like, I have a ton of stuff you don't have up. And I mean, I don't know if he wants dog and everything because they're not quite as musically inclined, but he has like close enough up there and
he
stuff.
does. Yeah.
He has
yeah,
the Plain White Tees cassette up there.
Right. That's why I'm like, he wants dog and everything. If he's got Plain White Tees up there, he's
Yeah.
got,
But a lot of those old bands have been great about putting their old stuff up. And I remember when Backdrop came up on Spotify, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, there's a
I
lot
mean,
of
I
shit.
have it, but it's so cool to just have it so easily accessible now.
Right. There's a lot of shit that I didn't really actually want on there just because it's kind of, it's like
A lot of demos and
embarrassing
stuff.
demo stuff, yeah, or whatever. But for whatever reason, it got put up there. So I may kind of actually filter some of that shit off of there.
No.
Well, that, it was Darren's like, oh, now we got to put this shit on there or whatever. I'm like, well, I have like 200 tapes in my basement of like probably more proper songs that we should actually have on there than little bits and pieces of me singing on a tune and whatever,
No,
So, but
Just
anyway,
make sure
it's
you
up
keep
there.
up audio isolation. That's
Isolation.
That's my favorite.
That's
Backdrop
my
song.
fucking jam. And back in the day,
Yeah.
I-
The system. Because Stu always used to sing to me
Yeah.
in the breakdown.
Were you in Brockmeyer's?
I was.
Okay.
Yeah.
I once asked Darren about Brockmeyer's, and he refused to tell me anybody that was in it.
Really?
Yeah.
because he doesn't know there's 20,000 people.
That's
that
one of
went
my
in.
favorite albums ever.
Really? Yeah.
I bought a used copy on Amazon literally like 2 years ago.
No shit.
Just so I could have
How much
it.
you paid for?
Like $4.
Really?
Yeah.
The-
Plus shipping.
The bus fucking tape?
No, it was the one. It's like a
Paul?
kind of a photo booth strip, and
Fucking
it's,
Paul.
Yeah.
That's the fucking one I'm on.
Yeah.
Yeah. No
It's
shit.
amazing.
Damn, you like
So
that? huh?
get that up on Spotify or Apple Music because I want to
That-
put that on all my playlists.
That's a little tricky. Yeah, that Jason probably wouldn't. I don't know if he'd agree to putting that up there, but
well,
you're
That's
fucking.
why I bought a used copy.
dude, just send it to DuPage County Hardcore.
It may be up there.
It might be.
Yeah,
Maybe not.
maybe.
I think
not.
they have some Brockmeyer stuff, but I don't think they have that full
They
length.
have the Paul on there.
Yeah.
We recorded that record with his name was Party Pants. We call him Party Pants Minor, but Paul Minor or something. Damn, I can't think of his name. But he played bass and filter for a little while and did
Wow.
some on and off. Like he was like a session guy here and there. And then he had a studio in this little building up in Chicago in his loft. And we spent like, I don't know, I think 3-4 days there over the weekend, like recording and shit. And I had no idea, but Pat Kilbread's freaking mom and his stepdad, I believe, They were like vice president and president of world class fucking dryers. You know, the hand dryers that you go in. So
Berkeley, Illinois.
right?
Yeah.
And I had no fucking idea. So we stayed at their house, and every fucking part of their house had a hand dryer for drying their hair. I'm like, dude, what's up with this, man?
That's fucking
He's
incredible.
he's like, my mom's like the VP. And then meanwhile, we're back in the studio in the morning with like Dale Party Pants Minor. You know, that Dale Minor was his name. And he's like fucking super hungover and shit. And he wore leather pants during the whole entire recording of that record. It's unbelievable.
But the only problem with buying a used CD now is I don't even own a CD player, so I don't even have a way to listen to it or digitize it for myself. I have to go buy an external CD reader for my Mac,
Yeah.
which I haven't done yet. So that's the only downside is I have it in my apartment and I cannot listen to it.
You don't have anything with any sort of optical drive?
My new car came with a CD player. That's it.
You don't have like an Xbox, PlayStation 2?
That's true. I
sitting
do.
around?
I do have an Xbox Series X that I can
There
listen
you go.
to. But
Learn
I
something
want to listen to it
Yeah.
on my phone and my headphones while I'm running.
Yeah.
You know, one of the
But
best.
that's a good album.
One of
Thank
the
you.
best CD players around is the first generation Sony PlayStation. The
yeah.
one that came with the RCA plugs in the back.
Yeah.
Jacks, not plugs. My bad.
You could listen to the game soundtracks usually too.
Yeah, you could. But like, I remember, reading up about this. Is like audio files, like whatever, like decoder chip is in there.
Did it have like a DAC
yeah,
DAC
something.
in it?
I don't know. It's apparently like one of the best sounding
Wow.
CD players for audio.
One of the best Blu-ray players was the PS3 when it came out, and for years it was still like the best one that got the most updates.
I don't know if you guys know this, but Sony Corporation invented the CD and the Blu-ray disc. So it kind of makes sense.
That makes sense.
That their shit would be the best.
Yeah.
It's on Amazon for $8.04.
A PlayStation 1? Oh no, the CD.
I can double my money.
What the fuck? Who would be selling it
That
on
investment's paying
Amazon?
off.
Who was in the Brockmeyers?
Oh man, there are so many just old CD
Oh yeah,
warehouse.
Dude, I think I got
yeah,
that
that's
CD.
the one. CD warehouse companies and that have just Interpunk is still around. I mean,
Yeah, just warehouses full of new old stock.
yeah, that are just dying to sell that Brockmeyers album.
Yeah.
They probably have a whole box full of them.
Sold by second spin
Yeah.
disc. Yeah, interesting. See, that's what you should do with the VHS tapes you guys were talking about. Fucking sell them on Amazon.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could legally, but Anyways,
I could sell my my VCR for probably
hell yeah.
$200. I don't know.
Oh, VCR prices are getting crazy,
They are, especially the Super VHS.
especially the Super VHS.
I'm telling you,
You're
look
sitting
that
on a
shit
gold
up.
mine.
It is. I shit my pants that day. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
That's
How much you pay for it? Like
It
$8.99.
was like $5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plug it in.
Goodwill's starting to get better about knowing what they have. Whenever I see something good, it's behind a glass cabinet and it's about what I would pay anywhere else.
They don't even do that anymore. All of the good shit at Goodwill goes on Goodwill.com.
The site, the auction site.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they know. And they,
Yeah.
make
it's
money.
not nearly as fun as it used to be going there.
But Salvation Army's pretty good. Savers, they closed down like
I miss
all their
Savers.
fucking locations.
I miss Savers.
Place was the best.
The best. I would get a whole Ziploc bag of baseball cards for 99 cents.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was getting distracted by who's trying to pop wheelies out here.
Evil Knievel.
For the listeners,
Junior,
we're-
Junior.
Welcome to living on Eola Road here.
Yeah. We're on Eola. What is this? Technically Aurora, or what is this?
This is technically Aurora, but Naperville, you can
Right
walk there in
next
2
door.
minutes. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then Plainfield is just 5 minutes south of here.
Very nice. Is there anything that you like to do in your spare time besides take photos?
And movies, I like to play video games.
Yeah, you a video game guy?
I'm a video game guy.
He's your guy.
What do you play?
Yeah. Xbox Series X. We have a Switch in the bedroom.
I just ordered a Series X today.
Oh, it
Literally today.
is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful machine. Even just for the loading times.
Yeah, that's kind of
Cutting
why I
loading
got
times
it.
in half completely changes how I play games.
Cool. What
And
do you,
even like all the old Xbox One games are all kind of up-resed and
Mm-hmm.
HDR automatically applied to them. Everything looks awesome.
what do you play? kind of
I love the
games?
Fallout games. I love the Far Cry games. I love the Forza Horizon games, the racing games. Anything with puzzles. I still have to try like Elden Ring and stuff like that. All the really popular stuff.
Cool.
I'd like to buy a PS5 eventually and try stuff like God. I've never played a God of War game.
I played the first one and the handheld one on the Vita, which was good. Yeah, they're good though.
Yeah.
Velveeta?
Velveeta, God of War Velveeta.
Sounds delicious.
Revenge of the Processed Cheese. Great game. Great game.
What's all your handles and stuff in case everybody wants to look at your photos, which I know they will.
So my Instagram is basically all that I use in terms of a normal everyday portfolio. I tried to use Facebook. It doesn't really do anything. It's hard to get likes. You can't use
fucking
hashtags.
out, man.
Yeah. So that hasn't been updated in about a year and a half. It's just at Chris Tracy Photo. And then my website is christracyphotography.com.
Kick ass.
Currently building a brand new website. It's driving me insane. I absolutely hate it, but it looks cool.
Yeah, I know nothing about that. I'm trying to build one for this podcast, and it's, Jesus.
It's awful.
Yeah. I'm using Squarespace. What are you using?
Don't say that. They didn't pay us any money yet.
Yeah, right.
Not yet. They will eventually. They sponsor everybody.
There you go.
I use Wix.
Wix.
I tried Squarespace free trial. I just couldn't kind of make it customizable enough for me. I couldn't kind of just move everything where I wanted to move it. So Wix is a little bit more personalized for at least what I want to do.
Right, yeah.
But I love how it's doing. And originally I used Adobe Portfolio because it came for free with my Adobe subscriptions. I was like, I don't need anything else. And now it just looks terrible. I can't sell anything on it. No one can book anything with me on it. So I kind of had to find something that can do everything.
Right. What would you say would be extremely helpful to your photography career going forward? Something that you wish that you would get a phone call from somebody? Or,
So my main goal next year is to do a tour. I'd like to go on tour with a band, and I think that would really kind of not only get to know a band, but solidify if that's something I kind of want to pursue. I know tour photographers, and they absolutely love it. I don't know if I would, but that's kind of my goal.
I think, and maybe you're not going to like this.
I hate it.
Huh?
I hate it.
You hate what?
What you're about to say.
You do. Okay. I think you would need to learn how to do all the social media, TikTok-y kind of stuff.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
I'm terrible at it.
I kind of feel
I try
like
to post once a day.
that's where it's
and
gone.
even that I'm bad at.
Yeah.
I don't have TikTok. I don't have Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't have. I feel like an old man.
Are you friends with Cal Engel?
We're friends on Facebook. I think we've chatted maybe once or twice.
Yeah.
I think I met him at the One Life show at Bottom Lounge you did last.
Yeah, he's great. He's a great dude. He's actually going to take some photos for us, but he would be a great guy to talk to kind of bend his ear a little bit, because he went on tour with Jonas Brothers from I don't know if it was a couple years or a year or whatever, but then that went into photographing their life, and they got that show and all. So I'm not sure how far and how deep it went, but it was pretty significant, and it went on for a while. So he would be a great guy, to reach out to and kind of bend his ear a little bit about maybe some tips and tricks or whatever to get onto something,
Yeah. But then I think, would I want to do that for a year or two of my life and miss out on shooting other shows or meeting other people?
Right.
And it's a tough balance to try to find, but I know the tour photographer for Matchbox 20, and it just looks like he has such a good time.
Sure.
And you get to visit. It's like going on tour, but not having to worry about anything.
Yeah, you only got one job.
Everything's paid for.
Capturing the moment.
Yeah.
Is he just doing stills, or is he shooting a lot of vertical video and
Mainly
stuff?
stills.
Really?
I haven't seen him posting much video, but they're also an older band, so I don't know if
Right.
they really need the exposure like that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're playing amphitheaters, so I don't think they're worried about selling tickets.
Right.
But that is my goal is to do a tour, and I'm probably gonna find a small band, a local band that maybe is doing like a weekender or a 1 week thing just in the Midwest, and follow them around.
Yeah.
See how it goes.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great starter piece.
I have a feeling you're gonna have to shoot a lot of vertical video and
I will if I have to.
come up with like a goofy.
I won't like it, but
hey,
I will
we're gonna
do it
have
if I
to
have
do
to.
this goofy TikTok thing.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, nobody wants to do. Just fucking hire somebody to do that for you. Wait, hang on. Then you got to get paid first.
Yeah, then they're bringing two people
Right.
on.
Yeah, right, exactly. Well, you got to get like somebody like my brother, where I've asked him to do like 20 things for me, and he hasn't done one.
How's he liking California? He loves it a lot there.
Absolutely loves it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's benefited. I always knew that he needed to go there in order to be successful in what he was doing. You know, it's just, you can't achieve that. I mean, you probably could, but I think way faster. You know, there's more avenues. Plus, I think it's just like more people aspiring to be what he wants to be there on a different level.
Your brother is too fucking cool and too good for Chicago.
He really fits in LA perfectly.
Yeah. But like LA, if you're good and you're cool, people like that. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
they, you know, Chicago, like I said, we're fucking dicks. If you're like really fucking cool and really good at what you do, people fucking hate you.
Right.
You know? And it sucks. But, you know, that's kind of why networking is so hard in Chicago with, you know, other people that do what you do. If people are threatened by your talent, by your everything.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, it's a weird Midwestern
What I think
thing.
works great for him is he has this, you know, he owned an advertising agency for the last 10 years, and he learned, you know, started as that was a job, and then my uncle actually ended up retiring, and my brother took it over. And I think the business side of it really added to becoming an artist and learning how to sell. And once he got down there, you know, a lot of things happen or whatever. It's like, oh, great, I'm moving to LA, and then boom, I got 6 tumors in my back. So then they had to get back surgery and slow them down or whatever, you know. So, like, I think he's finally getting to the point where he's healed and things are, like, starting to evolve. But he's really good at, like, you know, painting something, then doing it to print, and then making pins or whatever, you know, and finding a new way to keep on, like, you know, multiplying that product or whatever. So that's where I think he's really kind of, like, starting to succeed, is, like, finding something for everyone, you know?
Yeah, it just seemed like as soon as he moved out there, he immediately started doing well, really well.
He busts his fucking ass. I mean, like, the only time I'll have a phone conversation with him is when he goes for a walk. Like, if I try to call him anytime during the day or whatever, it's like he's literally painting all day long and into the evening, you know? So I only got Darren's time when Darren has time for me, you know? But, yeah, no, he would probably say, fucking move, you know? Like you did or whatever. And he's like, hey, I may be broke my whole entire life or whatever, but I'm fucking doing it, and I love it, you know? So, gotta love it.
Yeah.
Gotta fucking love it. Well, I really, really appreciate you coming on. And
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I can't wait for everyone to check out your photos. I mean, when you look at your shit, you got it, dude. You got it.
I think
I'm starting to come around.
I think it was after the MS Sucks show. I remember just scrolling on whatever, you know, probably Instagram or maybe Facebook, but people were posting your photos. Reposting.
Yeah.
No, posting.
Reposting.
Now we're going to get into this fucking semantic shit. Anyway.
Yeah, Josh posted some.
Yeah, but I remember like just seeing the photos and seeing the photo credit, and I was like, these are fucking great, you know? And yeah, I don't know.
Well, here's the other thing
very impressed.
about that is
maybe it was the algorithm that just kept, because I kept getting like other stuff that you shot too.
The algorithm is weird. Sometimes my photos will get, 50 likes a day for a week, and then I'll post a picture of Descendants and it gets 9
Yeah.
for the whole week, no
Right.
matter what I'm posting. And then the next week it goes back up to normal. So I have no idea
Nope.
how to manipulate it.
Yeah, nobody
I have
understands
no idea how it works.
the algorithm. Like,
Sometimes you're supposed to put all 30 hashtags. Sometimes you're supposed to put 5. And I just, so I'm just posting what I want and then just,
Do you edit every photo?
yeah.
You do edit every
Yeah.
photo. Okay, so nothing's ever just boom, this was it.
No, the MS Sucks stuff, because acoustic stuff is so easy to shoot, a lot of that was pretty close to what I already wanted.
Gotcha.
But punk stuff, a lot of editing.
A lot of editing. Okay.
is it harder to shoot a more energetic
Yeah.
band? Yeah.
But it's also a lot more fun.
Gotcha.
Shooting acoustic stuff is cool, but after one song, half a song, I'm kind of done.
Right.
There's not really much else they can do. Tom was fun to shoot because he was doing a lot of smiling and stuff like that. But Josh was just kind of
He's
doing his own thing.
He's a total ham, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
especially knowing he knew I was going to be there, and I think that helped him loosen up a little bit too. 'Cause
Yeah.
he was telling me how nervous he was before he went on to
Really?
follow Josh.
well, and he fucking
was in
covered
the-
a Pope
Oh, Tom?
song. Yeah,
He covered a
I
Pope
thought you were
song.
talking
He
about
was-
Josh.
No,
being
Tom,
nervous.
Tom was in the green room just sweating it out. Like, I have to follow Josh. Holy shit.
he covered a Pope song. He covered LBC.
Yeah, I know.
He covered Bush
Bush.
out
yeah,
of
the
fucking
glycerin cover.
nowhere.
Yeah.
Like plays Glycerin. You're like,
Yeah, it was
what?
great.
Yeah, it was. But I could see how he would.
I leaned
He's
into
sweating
to Mike
bullets.
and I was like, man, he's singing like a fucking angel tonight too. I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know what it is, but it was a magical night for him. He was like on, you know? And yeah, I'm glad it wasn't me.
Yeah.
I remember I was back there and I was making a joke because I want to hear older T stuff. And I was making a joke like, oh man, you should play Kitty Cat shirt. He's like, you have no, guess what I'm opening with? I was like, no fucking way.
Yeah.
Which was great because it was the
was
perfect
great.
crowd
Yeah.
to love it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? That would love and accept that.
That's
you
the
know?
only time I'm going to hear it now is at a show like that.
Yeah, no, the whole night was magical for me for sure. Josh is my number one. You know, Smoking Popes was number one hands down band forever. But to see him live with a band and then see him by himself, I don't know which one I like more. They're just both so kick ass.
And then when the Popes asked me at Metro to do some promo photos for them with that classic lineup, it was just like, this is awesome.
Yeah,
And that kind of makes you feel more like I've kind of made it.
yeah.
Because I'd done band promo photos before, but never for anything like that.
Well, they're sticklers too.
And backstage at Metro on the stairs, going up to the stage and all that. And
Yeah.
it was a good time.
Were you ever able to go up Metro stairs and see all the writing on the wall?
That was my first time back there.
Fuck, man. Back then in the day, everybody would sign the wall. Kurt Cobain fucking signed the
Mhm.
wall. It was magical. And then they fucking painted over it. For insurance reasons, of all things.
That's fucked
That's
up.
what I was
Yeah.
told. Yeah.
Well, they need it. You know, if something happens, they snap 2 photos and they get all their money.
Yeah, maybe it was like trying to take pictures of all the signatures and falling down the stairs or something like this.
Yeah.
Shit. Kick ass.
Are you going to LBC there with Dog and everything?
I really want to. Life is very, very overwhelming right now. I'm, between the podcast stuff and trying to run this business and everything else. And then, like, we are playing around with some band stuff and then the One Life stuff and then my own stuff.
Yeah,
so.
I'll be photographing the One Life show.
Are you?
Yep.
Oh, baby.
Of course I am.
Hell yeah.
I know the band.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's going to be a great show.
Yeah.
When is it? I forgot.
Yeah, I think it's mid June.
Yeah, like some like 27th or 28th or
Yeah.
something like that.
I think I'm out of town for that one, and
Are
I'm
you?
fucking pissed. Yeah.
This guy fucked up a show for TLB the other day, too. We had a really kick-ass show in Georgia, and then, the T's got a show, so we can't fucking play. Bastards.
I'm trying to get a
do it.
Chicago show set up.
Are you?
Yeah.
Getting back into it?
Yeah.
Yeah? Well, we got to, like...
We're trying to get something at Bottom Lounge. I've been talking to Darren about it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. We got a frantic reunion.
Oh, shit.
Possibly. Don't put this up.
Yeah. No.
Oh shit! It's
But
Yeah, it'll
they're
actually be a
they're
bit-
really into the idea, and Kevin from Bottom Lounge is really into the idea. But the problem is because of COVID, all the venues booked up. Even now, Bottom
still
Lounge is
booked
booked
up?
up the rest of the year.
Yeah,
They have
because
no open days.
I was curious about that because
Yeah.
I was talking to him a little bit at the last show, at the MS show, and he was saying, like, yeah, man, we're still backlogged from all the fucking shit
Yep.
that happened.
So I'm already looking at next year, and it's just crazy to think that far ahead
Right.
and try to book someone who's in a famous band playing every show in the world, and it's like he's not going to know what his schedule is like in February.
What is the So Kyle's doing this new band.
Make out.
Yeah, Make Out.
I've shot them a few times.
And I have not caught their show yet. I'm sure it's amazing.
It's really good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it what's it like? Is it
They're a
like-
lot poppier than the Frantic.
Yeah.
They're more like an actual, like an all-time low type thing.
Okay.
But he looks like he's having a great time.
Yeah, he's fucking awesome.
They just played here in Aurora at the Piazza. Have you been there?
I've heard of it.
Right by Fox Valley Mall.
Yeah, I haven't been there.
Huge venue.
Yeah, I see. I see.
They get stuff like Puddle of Mud played there,
Yeah.
and like
And a lot
bands
of
like Seven Dust or Saving Abel.
right,
Oh, shit.
and a lot of like tribute bands.
Yeah, a lot of
also.
tribute bands. That's
Little
that's
fucking
everything.
Kyle D
Yeah.
owning the stage at the Piazza.
Suburbs are only tribute bands now.
Yeah.
Even like the Forge and Joliet, they rarely have original stuff because everyone wants to play in the city.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not easy to have a venue out here anymore.
No, it's not easy to get people to come, you know.
No, and then even show, you're not getting 700 kids at a local show anymore. It's
No.
just not
Right.
happening. If you get 100, it's a good night,
Right.
which is a bummer.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of tribute bands and you being all busy, are you coming with me to see Bit Brigade in West Chicago?
Did you get the tickets?
I didn't get them yet, but I will.
What days? We'll talk after the show.
All right.
Yeah. Well, any last words, bro?
No,
I want to kind of keep talking, but I
Yeah.
think I gotta pee.
Go Pete.
you can go pee.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
And it was an awesome talk, awesome podcast.
thank you for having me.
Yeah, at Chris Tracy.
At Chris Tracy Photo.
Instagram at Chris Tracy photo.
Yeah,
And check out his photos. They are amazing.
Please do.
And if you're in a band,
and
call them up and have them
Right.
shoot your shit. you know?
yeah.
you won't regret it. They're
Yeah.
amazing.
Or if
They
you need,
really are.
family Christmas card photos and
I can do that too.
yeah,
We're not pulling your leg either. They're amazing.
yeah
Thank you.
He is
yeah,
good.
they really are great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There was another guy who, we were gonna have on the podcast, another photographer guy, and I looked at his shit. And it was terrible. I was like, you know what?
Well, just get Chris Tracy on the show.
I need a real
Tell me his name after the show.
pro. All right.
All right. Over and out.
Wow, I can't thank Chris enough for being on the show. That was really incredible. So much information. If you are a photographer in Chicago or anywhere for that matter, and you're looking to get into the pit and try to take some photos of your favorite band, this was the podcast to listen to. You can check out all Chris's stuff over at Chris Tracy Photo, that's on Instagram, and ChrisTracyPhotography.com. And as usual, if you want to see what the hell we're up to, you can go to ToTheBottomMusicPod.com. Until next time, thank you.